Hi, everyone. I'm Cynthia Toussaint.
And I am John Garrett, and this is Women in Pain Nation.
That is correct. Yeah. And today we are going to do our second installment of our recently launched Partners in Pain project. Exciting, right?
It is extremely exciting. And what that includes is Cynthia and I moderating a panel with another couple.
That's right. One who has chronic pain and one who is the caregiver, just like us.
Yeah.
That works.
Sounds very familiar. And what we'll share is our lived experiences as partners dealing with the challenges, pitfalls, and silver linings of the chronic pain experience.
Sounds good to me. And before you actually get to introduce today's spectacular Partners in Pain couple, we want to just tell you a little bit about ourselves. So I have had high impact pain for it's October, 43 years.
43
exactly.
years.
This is the anniversary, October.
Holy smokes.
Right. And it started with complex regional pain syndrome. I now have, I think over 15 overlapping conditions. And I also fought triple negative breast cancer, obviously successfully, twice since 2020. So can you top that?
I can. I'll see you. I don't know if I can top you, but I have been your day-to-day caregiver for those 43 years. So it has been quite a journey.
And I love you for it. And together we run the nonprofit For Grace, where we help women with high impact, persistent pain.
Radio.
So now you get to introduce our couple.
Great. I get. You know what? Why do I get the good stuff? Why do I? Okay.
Lucky you.
Let me just tell you about today's our partners, and they are Ellen Lenox and Stu Smith. Yes, Ellen and Stu have been married for 52 years. Wow. Raised 4 sons and are proud grandparents of 5.
I'll bet they're in love.
I bet you they're in love. I feel the love already coming over. Over 30 of those years together, Stu has had to take on the role of caregiver due to Ellen's diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome that has now included over 28 surgeries. Nice.
Wow.
They have worked as a team and now also take on Stu's diagnosis with Parkinson's. They have engaged for years advocating nationally for cannabis use and Ehlers-Danlos awareness with the U.S. Pain Foundation, among many other issues.
Woo! Yes. I love it. So well said. And all of that so well said. Welcome, Ellen and Stu.
Thank you.
There we go.
There we are. All the way from Rhode Island.
Beautiful Rhode Island, especially this time of year, I would imagine.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Stu?
It's a joy to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Good. Excellent. Wonderful.
Okay. So we're here. We're going to, I want to say that everybody watching, you want to make sure and catch Ellen and Stu's stories that are being featured right now. Ellen's story, wonderful story, is being featured on For Grace's Share Your Story project, and where she talks to chronic pain and the loneliness and isolation that can accompany it. And then that will be followed by Mr. November.
Mr. November.
Next month, who wrote, they both wrote this phenomenal story. So I just had to do a plug for that. Don't miss them. Right after this panel, read Ellen's story. And then after you guys did all of that great work, then I reached out and asked if you would be a part of this panel, which is turning out to be wonderful. And we came up with an idea for a topic. It's hard hitting. It just was sort of developing as we were talking before this program. And so the topic that we're taking on is chronic pain and partner conundrums, and I think we're just the 4 people to do it. It's something that we're all going to relate to very closely, because let's face it, as people with chronic pain, this is a very complicated, multidimensional, very difficult place to be, and that goes for the caregivers of people with chronic pain as well. Right? I mean, it's just, there are landmines everywhere when it comes to chronic pain. So this is really great. So I'm really glad we're taking on this wonderful topic. And that being said, why don't we just jump right in?
Yeah,
you got the first question.
I do. I'm going to kick this off. And Stu, it's going to be us, you and me, since we're the caregivers as well. I mean, have been for most of this time. And I know things are changing a bit on your end now, but that's we're in part of the dance here, the caregivers. So let's kick off with Stu and I. So Stu, first question for you: what are some of the everyday worries you have as a caregiver to Ellen?
The everyday worries are basically, I wake up every day thinking to myself is, number one, is Ellen going to fall today? And then from that, I go on to, my mind goes to what that does to our life if she falls. And that is, it's because, and what her condition is such that treatment is not available anywhere but where we are right now. And if I can't get treatment in a hospital and I can't get to her physical therapist, I'm screwed. And
Oh, wow.
Yes.
and we have to live with this terror every day. I live with it when I wake up in the morning, and then the rest of the day it dissipates because I get beyond that point and I realize that I can't let this terror take over my being emotionally, and therefore I have to function in order to be a caregiver, and it goes going from there.
Wow.
Radio.
That is major. And does she fall? Do you fall, Ellen?
Yeah, last week she fell.
I've passed out a few times in Stu's arms, melted in his arms, and fractured both my legs.
Oh my!
Wow. Day. I mean, it just, my balance isn't horrible. I mean, I'm very active, but you know,
I'll give you an example of the terror.
What a terror! That's a great word, terror.
Terror. I know.
About 15 years ago, I think it was about 15 years ago.
This is okay. We'll just. You're
yeah.
very popular.
Yeah. No.
But you were terror.
About 15 years ago, she was having a catatonic episode due to Ehlers-Danlos, and she was sitting in a chair, and I was holding her up to keep her from falling. I couldn't reach the telephone to call 911, and I couldn't let her go. I was in such a disaster.
Oh, I mean, it's impossible. He's laughing because he's
only
relating.
laughing because I can relate so deeply and profoundly with you.
It's something, you know, it's like PTSD. You don't forget those things. We don't forget the place where she fell in the store. She doesn't like to go by the store where both her legs collapsed.
Forgot about that.
You know?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at how we're relating.
So, you know, I guess the challenge is not to carry these things with you to the point where it disables you. You know, but you can't.
That's a really good point.
For a human being, you can't avoid the fact that it is part of your psyche, but you can't dominate your being. And I'm not. My situation isn't as bad as many other people's, but it's still part of me.
It's still it's yours. And are you relating with this?
Oh, I'm relating. Like, you know, I'm having, you know, flashbacks and everything else going along with it. Yeah, talk about.
He said to me. The first thing I think in the morning is, what terrible thing is going to happen?
Right.
I mean, it just reminded me.
Right. No, Stu, I think I'm getting goosebumps over everything you're saying, because you're hitting it right on the dot, because you're saying words that I don't normally articulate, like the terror. But I mean, I have told Cynthia many times. In one of the first things I wake up with every day is kind of a low level sense of dread, and I don't mean like, oh, life is terrible, horrible, but I mean, what will the day bring? And I think you're saying that exactly and perfectly, because no matter what we do, we can't see into the future, and we can't predict everything that might happen, and so there are things that just come out of the rafters that knock us down, literally and figuratively. But because my day to day, my overarching concern is, again, and you've touched on this with what you were just saying, is this my physical and mental well-being, to stay in to keep me up and running so I can take care of her. But I think what you were just saying is that this PTSD that happens with caregivers, of folks like Cynthia, like Ellen, who can teeter and fall over at any given moment because of Ehlers-Danlos, or her with complex regional pain syndrome because of her lower extremities. The pain that can happen is that one of the great stressors, chronic stressors that people can have is a sense of uncertainty. And you know, if you're there you go.
Because one mistake. I was
bedridden
10 years. He doesn't want me to be bedridden.
Right. In our experience, and it sounds like your experience too, that one mistake.
You know what else it does to me is that I have always been a glass half full guy. I never woke up, and now I don't wake up that way anymore. And I say to myself, I'm not the person I once was. I'm a different person. So I have to get adjusted to a different person, and that isn't always easy either. You know. To have to struggle with that.
Like, who am I?
That is the challenge of caregiving.
Yeah.
You know, again, trying to hang on to that person you were before. But I concur. I agree with you also. With Cynthia, again, I again, just like you're talking about, we go into any environment, and if she's not using her wheelchair, I need to scan. I need to be hyper vigilant. I need to do a full scan of the environment. Is where can she sit? Where can she perch? Because any moment, if she trips or falls or stands up too long, it's not just a flare that may last a day or two. It could be a long-lasting flare. So he's
so good about that. It's like, okay, the rug is here, or we're in the parking lot.
The chair is there.
Point everything out.
Is there, you know. So I'm sure you do a lot of that.
You guys are so.
The saddest part is that I have to intervene, and I don't do it as well as I should. She can't. She likes to hug people. People like to hug her.
Hello. I hug everyone. I would be hugging you right now if only you weren't in Rhode Island.
They'll put her, all her bones will come out of place. So she can't be hugged.
Wow.
Called subluxations, millimeters, but it's really painful. So if I get hugged, somebody squeezes you because they haven't seen you in a long time, which you want to squeeze back. For me, I can literally feel things being flexed in my neck and down the spine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I have no trouble with it, but John's joke is I always know when Cynthia's been through a room because everyone has lipstick on their cheek.
Well, Stu, obviously,
so it's funny that we have that in
obviously
common.
you and I have a lot of the same concerns, so we could talk forever. But
so I'm going to just flip the question now and ask you, Ellen. So what are some of the everyday worries that you live with as Stu's care recipient? I can say it that way.
Well, we're now in our 70s. We've been at this for a while. I'm 75, he's 78. And to be honest with you, I sleep with a BiPAP, which is basically a home respirator. He's sleeping with a CPAP and oxygen. And the first fear that I have to kind of calm myself down about is waking up in the morning and hoping I'm hearing him breathing over there and he's going to move when I get up. I know it sounds really silly, but
no, it doesn't.
That starts to kind of creep into our lives now that we're getting older. And the reality is we're not going to last forever. I actually had told my primary doctor, and she was so sweet about it. I said, you know, when we first got married, way before we knew anything medically was coming on, we just had this idea that it would be really neat at the end of our life when there was no more that we could do to help ourselves. And we were going to end up being dependent on other people, that maybe just lying in bed and going out together. And I actually mentioned
to the doctor,
and she was like fine with it. I thought, oh my God. But, you know, because there is that fear that creeps into my body. Stu keeps me alive. Every morning we get up and make the coffee, go back into the bedroom, and he does physical therapy on me. He puts my shoulders back in, he puts my elbows back in, he puts my sacrum back in, does all these things. And then I have a decent quality of that day because of his work. And so there's this like background fear. How would I possibly live that life with the added pain of not being adjusted each morning, along with the huge loss of not having him by my side? So I have to fight myself emotionally to not think about that, and instead enjoy what I do. But I'm not gonna lie to you, that fear is creeping in more getting older. I think probably for both of us, right? Yeah, it's not something we
makes sense. Yeah. So like for me, I mean, I watch John, you know, get up. He's immediately caregiving, and then maybe he'll take me to, like you. I'm a big swimmer, and he'll take me to the pool, and then you're out doing errands, and we come in, and you're putting things away, and then he's making breakfast, and then he does all the laundry, the cooking, most of the cleaning. It's just he's always working, and I worry about burnout. You know, I mean, worse. And I stayed up. I was mentioning we were back east last week, and I wasn't on the time right away, and I stayed up that night thinking, what? I mean, I think as we had been talking, what would happen, you know, if John, you know, broke his leg, you know, like an injury or something, and it's really frightening. So somebody else can't. I have a wonderful family of friends, but they can't, you know, just quit their lives and come take care of Cynthia, and they don't know how, you know. So that it's scary. It's scary needing a caregiver.
That's one advantage we do have. And we have 4 sons. And one of ours recently moved to Amherst. He gave up his teaching job at Swarthmore, moved to Amherst. And probably, 2 years ago, I was on a bike in the basement getting ready to go to my daughter-in-law next door, her grandmother's funeral. And all of a sudden, I woke up on the floor with the bike tangled on me. No warning. My heart decided to just take a little pause, and down I went. And it's just I've lost my train of thought. We were just talking about.
You were saying that you were lucky because you had you have sons and you were going to a funeral. Yeah.
Thank you. So one of our sons could instantly see that when I didn't want to go to the hospital. The doctor said, well, if you don't care about waking up tomorrow, that's fine. Don't go. So I went to the hospital. They kept me in for like 2 or 3 days. One of our sons, the one in Amherst, instantly came to our house and stayed with Stu and kept him focused and functioning. It was like the kindest thing you could ever, and it's not something
the greatest gift
child to do for us, but it was a huge gift. And that comfort level is always behind us now, knowing that he's close enough that if something happened, I think he would do that again. And it was really nice because you get discombobulated when something happens to the other one and your routine.
Yeah. It is amazing though how people will help out, because when I went through cancer and it was during COVID when I was going through chemotherapy, I mean, friends made almost all of our meals, you know, and they brought them over and they took chances. Yeah. So, I mean, we can't forget that, you know, people are really wonderful. So, Stu and Ellen, so what are some special tips, using those words? There's a joke behind that, right? What are some special tips that you two have developed over the years to make this dance work more smoothly?
Do you want to go first?
Anything?
I think that our relationship, and I say this, one of the silver linings to living as long as we have and having a chronic disease, having to deal with that, it has brought us closer in a way that I didn't think would be possible. So my tips would be to take care of yourself so that you are physically and emotionally able to deal with when something like this comes up. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help your partner. And that's
great advice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw something.
We've been challenged with that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you for that.
Tips. I think for me, in my position and knowing what my condition has done to our plans that we might have had and dreams we had, I realized that it was really important that I tried to keep a positive attitude and try to make the best of whatever it was I was given left to work with in my body. Because Stu has been willing to take this journey with me and go on the ride together. And I owe it to him to not feel sorry for myself. And I think together as a couple, we look around us and realize so many people are dealing with issues. They can be totally different, whether it's a loss of a child, a loss of a marriage, who knows what it might be. That we need to, in fact, I literally every morning try to go outside, look up at the sky and the stars and go through in my brain what I am grateful for that I do have to that day in a positive way. And the other thing that really resonates with me is I realize that as a parent, it's never done. Our children are watching how we're handling what we've been given to deal with. And I also use that as a guidance for me in terms of how I try to handle things, because my dad had every form of cancer before he passed, and a wonderful man. And he still had that smile on his face. He still cared about other people. He reached out, he couldn't help himself. And he was such a wonderful model that I think that really matters to me now, that our children are watching us and paying attention and seeing how do you handle when life gives you a lemon. And your
dad reminds me of my mom, and that's like who I feel like everything good about me is her. So I can relate to that. What are special?
Well, I'll second those emotions.
And you know what I got to say, I'm feeling so much love here. This is all about love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm getting
cried.
Just so much good vibes going on. No, Ellen, and right, absolutely. Gratitude is so important, and obviously, I'm setting an example, and I think I remember years ago I said I wouldn't let the bastards.
I almost brought that up. We did up all night long because of pain, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I couldn't lose my life, and he slept for like 20 minutes. He got up to do a job he absolutely hated. And he said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let the bastards beat me. And I thought, I don't have the right to give up because he's not giving up. And I never, thank you for saying
And I think
that.
I meant by the bastards, I meant the fates, the fates.
I don't
I'm
know,
not gonna-
but
whatever
man,
life has
it was
got to throw
something
at
you said just.
Yeah, but thank
made
you.
me- yeah,
Right
wow.
on the money. I guess
Came right
what
back.
my tips were more on a kind of a logistical kind of day-to-day thing, whatever. But the point is, it's like when, again, Stu, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is that when I do occasionally have to leave this one, and I do because I'm the legs of the operation.
Plus, you just have to
I
leave
gotta,
sometimes.
get do some shopping, whatever. I just, I try to give her a good, good idea of how long I'm going to be gone. And of course, historically, I've been really lousy at that. I don't know what
Since
that's
before I
about,
was sick, actually.
but
My
when I
mom
say
used
I'm
to
going to be
say,
gone for half an hour, I'm gone for an hour. And you're right, your mom would always catch me.
why
on this.
does he do that?
So anyway,
I don't know. I have to...
But the point is, I, just out of, so she can, it's about care and control and kindness, and you try to give your partner a good time frame when you're going to get back, and generally I go by that. But anyway, and also obviously, when I leave, I make sure the phone is on. I don't know what we did in the days before mobile phones, but now I can't even conceive of that. But when I leave,
well, Ellen and Stu have a landline.
They got a landline. That's
I never use it.
right. So yeah, so somebody can call them. That's right.
But you have
You
one.
can still be called. If I could find a payphone somewhere, I could call Ellen and Stu and tell you, and then okay. Anyway, but the point is, have a phone on. And again, that's another thing I'm terrible at. I usually forget to leave it anyway.
He doesn't like to have his phone on. And before he leaves, I'll say, okay, at 45 minutes. Okay, so let's look at this realistically. What are you going to do? And so we come up with a realistic time, which really helps me. And then I say, is your phone on?
Right.
Because it so often is not. And then another thing you do, which really helps me, is you say, is there anything else that I can get you or do for you before I go?
Right.
And that really helps me because then I know when you're coming back, I can get in touch with you. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then also like for I think another thing is, so you get some time away. I notice when I'm with a group of people and suddenly I'm surrounded with friends, you disappear. And I'll say something to John. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. John leaves. So giving you time to yourself, away,
little personal time.
Yeah. So we can come back and have, different experiences. I think that's been really important. And I've noticed that with our caregiver care recipient, we have a rhythm. It's like not only can we finish other sentences, but we pretty much know what the other person's going to do next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I get up and you're gone, you've got my ballet Pilates things all laid out. You got music playing.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
I think that comes with caregiving for a long period of time.
Yeah, that rhythm.
You get into that.
I'll bet you two have the same kind of. I know you do.
Say, daily kind of tips that we have is we love. And we're not being a pain in the neck, but we love a routine. We like getting up, we like making the coffee, we like sitting. We still get the paper delivered, believe it or not. And read the paper. We consistently go out to work out every morning. It's either going to the pool or going to walking down by the bay or by the ocean. Just routine things that matter. And in terms of safety, this was Stu's idea. These are Apple Watches. When I dropped, I was told by the nurse practitioner in my cardiologist's office to wear armor, a helmet on, and work out around other people. I thought, oh no, that's not going to be my life.
That's not going to be my life. Thank you.
So if you drop and fall, it says, are you okay? Because if you don't say I am, it calls 911 and it knows where you are.
Wow.
At the end of that,
what a great tip.
Yeah, it was great. It was so helpful. So that's given us peace of mind. So if he goes for a walk up the street and something happened, we'll know. And that was really comforting.
I think having a routine, which is actually pretty consistent from week to week, is that
it makes sense.
I think that makes all the sense in the world.
Go ahead. Control when your life is so often close to being out of control. So
yeah,
exactly.
And
well said.
We like getting out and doing things, and we really love coming back home. It's comfort.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, he goes down and reads. I do the work on the computer for the Pain Foundation, things I need to do in my writing, and then we sit together for like the last maybe hour and a half before we go to bed and watch whatever. It's comfort, it's routine, and we also love it when we break routine, but it's been very difficult for us to travel much. We have one son living out of the country, but Stu's fear of what happens to me if something happens out of the country is not comfortable for him for us to travel, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is, and we have to face it. So that son has the only little girls in our life are living in Mexico. We had 4 sons, and the only 2 granddaughters are in Mexico, but yet they FaceTime all the time. They dance for us, their artwork. They call on the first day of school to say how school went, and they have kept us so connected that when we see them in person twice a year, it's like we're next door. I mean, it's like
because you kept up. Yeah, that's great. And you never know when travel. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ellen.
No, go ahead.
Just gonna say, you never know. Like, we couldn't travel for a very long time, and now we've traveled all over the world. So, so we're right. So I mean, you never know when things are going to change. Yeah. And also, can we come over?
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. we're going to be more professional than that.
Yes.
But you guys are such a delight.
Yes, absolutely. Well, here's the next question for you, Ellen, and this is a tough one, but Cynthia and I talk about this sometimes. Do you ever wrestle with the guilt or shame?
Not the guilt, maybe
or
shame
with guilt or shame as a care recipient, as someone who needs to receive.
I actually came up with that question.
It absolutely breaks my heart what my condition has done to my husband's life too. It's one thing that I've had to face it, but the fact that it's affected my husband has been heartbreaking. And guilt and shame, also heartbreak. I think I'd like to add to that list. Times that the family goes off for a walk in the woods when the grandchildren are here, and I can't go. I can't walk on uneven ground. I feel like there's times I'm not there with the family because of my medical condition. That's heartbreaking. But in terms of what it's done to my husband's life, I don't know how I got so lucky to be with a man that's still willing to put up with me and this condition.
I relate.
I'm very, very lucky because I know there's a lot of people that end up in divorces with my condition because the spouse doesn't take it. So that's why I say I'm very grateful for his courage to stick this out and to be there by my side. And that's why I feel I have a responsibility to be as strong and as brave as I can, because it's not like I asked for this any more than he's asking to have to deal with Parkinson's now. So I really feel like we're both working as hard as we can to make life as pleasant as we can, despite what we're going through. Does that make sense?
Really well put. I'm glad you asked that question. And I can relate in that. Now, as far as shame, I don't have shame because of my illness, except I will say not with you, but when I'm in my wheelchair, I get these pity looks and they're staring at my legs. They want to see if I have both of my legs, and they'll only talk to John, not me, as if because I'm mobility impaired. My brain isn't working. So that does make me feel ashamed. It's really, the shame is on them, but I feel it. But like you, go ahead, Ellen.
No, I was just going to say, I understand what you're saying, but with my condition, it's called an invisible condition because people can't see what you're going through. People have no idea if they came and hugged me right now, my spine's going to pop out of place. But when I was in the wheelchair for 4 years, people understood there was something wrong. If I had a cast on, they understood something was wrong, and a brace. But to have nothing but just clothing on now, people don't see it. So I deal with judgment.
When I understand that, because I usually am not wearing a wheelchair. So and then it's really interesting how they just don't get it. And in Los Angeles, like I'm with a lot of performers, and there's like a jealousy, a competition, but then I'm in the wheelchair and suddenly that's gone. It's just really, really, really interesting. Suddenly I'm pitiful. I'm no longer a threat. Yes. And that's irritating. But as far as the guilt, like you, Ellen, I mean, I watch him work so hard, and John, and I do feel really guilty, and I want him. It's the same thing. Like, you didn't sign up for this, and what a guy, I mean, we got together. We've been together we just had our 45th anniversary, and we had about 1.5 years of wellness. So I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, but what, this person. This person stayed by me and loves me. And so I feel really lucky. And what I do like to deal with that guilt is I make sure I'm supportive now when you want to do things outside of that involve me. Like he has a community garden, and where he's with a different group of people. And he's kind of talking about more caregiving, really. He's the president of our home association now. He's really great at it. And at first I kind of resented it. Now I'm like, no, he loves it, or he loves to go on long walks, just like his dad used to do. And so I'm better about that. So that, I think that helps with the guilt. I've gotten a lot better.
I still hesitate to say I'm doing XYZ but
I know you do.
I've learned.
I'll notice on the calendar, oh, we're having a community barbecue. I think it's this month. And I'm like, oh, John didn't mention it. Yeah, because you'll be putting it on, but we've gotten so much better at that, supporting the outside things, and because that's your self-care,
the take, and all that. Thank you.
Yeah. So how do you two reverse roles? I mean, how to, especially with your diagnosis now, Stu, of Parkinson's, how does that dance work for you two?
Well, my wife is. I am not that organized. My wife is like a totally organized person. And
that's like us too. It's similar.
She handles my doctor's appointments. She handles everything in such a way that it gives me security. Because if I had to do it, I probably could do it, but I don't do it. And so she manages everything, and it just makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel better about my condition.
Right?
That I can manage it with her.
She gives the love back.
Absolutely.
Right.
We're a team.
I love that.
I can't cut food, vegetables. I love to cook, but I can't do the manual, physically cutting would pop my shoulders out. So I figure out, I just make up food. I tell him what I'm going to create out of the garden. He comes in, chops it up for me, and then I have the fun of doing the cooking and serving the meal. We just became a team that way, and it's working. Thank goodness.
That's the rhythm I was talking about. I just love that.
Yeah.
And that only comes with time and love.
Yeah. It does. It's amazing how, things come over the years and to make things simpler and easier. We just, again, that dance and the rhythm. I don't know with us, we haven't had, fortunately, knock on wood, we haven't had, yes, there it is, many opportunities to role reverse when it comes to caregiving and care receiving.
Well, thank goodness.
Because I've been, yes, knock on wood, I've been pretty healthy all these years. No major injuries or surgeries or, whatever, doing medication stuff. But the point is, it does happen occasionally. I do get, a terrible flu, and I do get sometimes with the vaccines.
Got long COVID.
Long COVID. Yes. I did. With the vaccines, I had a rough, recovery from those too. So, but what in years past, in the years, way back, I would just, I didn't care if I had 102, 103, whatever temp. I would just work through it. I had to take care of this one, and that was all, end of story, full stop. But now, as I get a little bit older, as we approaching, into our mid-60s, and wiser, yes, older and wiser, I have learned that my health is as important, because this is absolutely.
No, but we had to learn that.
It didn't come innately, but so I have to allow myself the space to heal and to recover and that kind of thing, because that'll get me up and running to do what we want to do faster and better. So I will take that extra time to sleep at night or in the morning. I will take that time to lay on the couch and just hang out. And
so proud of you for that.
If the cupboards are getting a little thin, so be it. We will survive, kind of thing, instead of being on top of everything all the time. So point is, I'm allowing myself a little more space to heal than I would have.
You are, and I'm proud of you. And I'm getting good at letting
self-care.
Self-care. We call it self-care. You do that
weird, strange word I rarely
And I
use.
think I helped John. I helped John do more self-care. Like we stay I'm on a cancer hustle diet. I'm pescatarian, and I keep him on a really good, healthy diet, and sleep and exercise. Every morning we go to the gym. You do the gym, I do the swimming pool. And also I make sure we're talking about sleep. Right. We have meaningful work. We're living our passions. I'm doing some more than you, but we're working him back into acting. So, I think that's how we kind of reverse it too. And I will say that, that once you're done cooking, it's like that kitchen's mine. It's like, and if I'm in a flare And John says, "Oh, don't worry, babe. You know, I've got the dishes." No. That it's very meaningful to me that I can do whatever I can do. And yeah, so you know how that is, Ellen.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes he'll just come in and maybe put my clothes away. It's like, no. I've actually had him bring them back out of the closet because I can put them away.
She does.
Because it's like, that's something I could, you know, it's just like I'm really holding on to everything that.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because, you know, we all need to have purpose in our life. And if you only focus on all the negative health issues and what it's done to our lives and all the things we're never going to be able to do that we thought we were going to be part of our dreams, you know, you're going to be miserable, and we don't want to be that.
Really?
We want to be happy people.
No.
So, you know, what we did find shortly after I got diagnosed and eventually lost my teaching career was getting involved, like advocating initially for Rhode Island's medical marijuana program, got connected to the U.S. Pain Foundation.
Equality.
Yeah, marriage equality. We've worked on a lot of things that we believe in, and that has really helped us a lot too, to stay active. You know, we work nationally for the cannabis program and trying to make it accessible to everybody and affordable, because I'm in a situation where I can't take anything over the counter through DNA testing. Can't take any of the opiates for pain. All that I tested out positive for, leave it to me, are both controversial as cannabis and ketamine. That's it. And that's my life. So, you know, I've had to accept this and make the best of it, and then learn that this is keeping me alive, advocate for it, because somebody else is with my conditions probably in the exact same situation, and here's this lifeline that the government initially has made us feel that we should be scared of, and it's, oh, you know, we're going to be addicted. And that's not true at all. So it gave us something to really work hard on, and that's made us feel good. We've been working on this since when?
And I like you, Ellen. I think you said I've had to accept this. I've had to make the best of it. You didn't have to. You chose to. That was a choice. I would take credit for that.
I'm a miserable person. I've seen some miserable people, and
yeah,
you know,
so have we. And then people that decide to end it all.
Or do you open your eyes and realize this happened to be what we got given to us? What about what other people are dealing with? You know, some people are very private about it, but when you get to know them and you hear their stories, you think, oh my gosh, that person walks in here with a smile on their face, and look at what they're really coping with. And we need
but you know, people say that to me. I don't know why you're smiling with all this crap you're going through. And it's like, I just choose to meet the world with a smile. It's very natural. And I think that we're similar couples in that way. You know, it's just like, the glass half full.
I feel sorry for people that don't figure out how to rise above it and find happiness in their life, despite, I mean, I live with pain all the time. You know, it is what it is. But am I going to be miserable, or are we going to try to make a pleasant day for ourselves? And what can we do today?
Exactly.
I will say this, you know, I love my wife, and but
I got that feeling.
I respect a lot of people. I am in awe of my wife. And I say that, and I've met a lot of people in my life, organizations, heads of organizations, politicians, but I am in awe of what she has done with her life, with this condition. It's unbelievable.
I think you're wise to be in awe.
I feel.
I couldn't have been that without him, though. It's like we were saying.
Know.
It's a partnership here, and
we're in awe of each other. I think
to take it on the way I have because of him. I couldn't have done this by myself.
Whenever I hear, like, with media, they'll say, "Oh, you're a hero," or "You this," really the kind of things, and I'm like, the hero is walking 2 steps behind. You know what I mean? I never had a choice. I couldn't leave this behind, but he, like Stu, could have left. You know, they chose to stay, and
no chance.
Talk about being in awe. You know,
it was never going to happen.
So we're running over time because this is such a great conversation. I knew that we would, rightfully so. So how do you two, Stu, Ellen, Stu? So your spouses, you both have illnesses. You've been dealing with caregiving and being the care recipient for such a long time. How do you keep it romantic? Can I ask that question?
Well, sure you can.
I can ask, but will you answer?
Absolutely. As you get older and you're healthy, as we were healthy for many years, you adapt as you get
healthy.
Mm-hmm. And then as you get with the kind of conditions, you make a decision: are we going to be creative and flexible and still have some physical intimacy? And you find a way, whether it's touching, kissing, or some other type of intimacy beyond that. But you can substitute the type of sexual activity you had when you were younger for other types of sexual activity, to touching,
Great.
affectionately, and intimately at some point. And I think that is a tribute to our commitment to our overall health. Her condition aside, if we had not made a commitment to our overall health, and I will tell you very selfishly, my commitment to my overall health has been as much as wanting to feel good as much as want to have sex for as many years as I could.
That's fabulous.
I think we just lost our PG rating.
I'm writing that down, Stu, as we speak. I'm gonna, keep it going. Keep it going.
Sex has been a big part of our relationship, a big part.
Well, you have 4 sons.
Yeah, somewhere.
And I see people 20 years younger than me that are 40, 50 pounds overweight, and I say to myself, what are you doing? You're giving up the best part of your life. You're a mess.
I don't think so. No, not at
There it is. Why give that up?
Why would you? Why would you? Can you talk that?
No, there's no way. I'm sorry. I'm still in the middle of making some notes here. So excuse me. I'm back. Okay. Wow. I need to be powdered. Okay. No. I'll second every emotion you said, Stu, and I'll that's perfect. No, I got it. I'm back in everything.
You're stuttering.
I'm stuttering.
You're
I'm
stuttering,
stunned. Anyway, but I'm right with you, my man. No, with us, I think it's a basic. I think you touched on and literally
touched on it.
The word being the operative word, touch, is that yes, we still, as you said, we still love and cherish each other and have the intimacies and all that stuff. We've been fortunate to sustain. And one of the lovely things I love, as you said, I love the partner I'm with, and that we're very blessed in that way. So I can't keep my hands off of her. That's the problem,
This is professional.
Oh, we should go. Anyway, well, but I won't show you how. But anyway, the point is, I touch her a lot. I am blessed to have someone I love and care and feel very intimate with and comfortable having.
How do you touch me?
But I do touch, and that's one way we keep things very intimate and very romantic. But what the bonus with that is with her pain, when she has a pain flare, is that be it on the arm, or the leg, or whatever part of the body. We have learned over the years, if I can give her just light strokes of touch, this has been very helpful to her. It brings her pain relief. I enjoy it. She enjoys it. But what I'm doing, apparently scientifically, is that I'm activating touch neuron, the nerve endings under our skin that
and that's what I say to him. The very, very light touch is.
Right, there you go.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so do I.
Light touch.
When it gets a little, if he's rubbing my arm and it gets harder, I said, no, go back to light, really light. And even up into my scalp, it's so refreshing. And so it feels wonderful.
And
he also touches my trigger points. He'll press those on. I think it feels so good. It's scrambling that message, the pain message. And I feel like it's so romantic that every spot,
Yes, I know. After
every
40
trigger
some years,
point.
I know every whatever.
It's so sweet.
But the point is, the touch, floods that central nervous system with positive sensory experience versus the noxious or negative, whatever. But the point is, it does the job. So that's one way we keep it has a double effect.
And then also we're traveling again, which is really romantic. We love that. We couldn't because of COVID and then cancer twice, and now finally complications, and finally I'm well enough, and so that's a really romantic thing. And you write poems for me, and you put them in scrolls and hide them around the house. Oh, and your dog.
She's under.
There you go.
Zanzibar. Our cat wanted to be on the video. I was saying, do you want to be on the video?
No, that's beautiful.
What is your dog's name?
Oh, you're not going to believe her name. She came from a place called Needs in Princeton, Mass. And they name puppies when they're first born by donors who donate like $10,000, $15,000. And then you can't change the name because that name has been used for all her years of training before I get her. Her name is Velma. Who has a dog named Velma? That's who I have.
That's great.
Velma. What is it?
Velma.
Velma. What a great name.
It was named after the woman who donated the money. Did it in honor of her best friend's mother that had passed. And the mother.
Oh, wow, Velma. Velma lives on.
Everyone comes up and says, "Oh, Scooby Doo." I said, "Not really."
No, Velma.
That's okay. My
I
friend
love it.
dogs. Her real name was Magpie. I thought Magpie.
Wow.
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 Everybody else gets these normal names, and I get these dogs with silly names. But anyway, it is what
I
it is.
love it. Can you rub Zanzibar?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I don't know where
We have, okay, well, our cat
So
one.
clearly we need more dogs,
We
more
need more
touch,
dogs, more touch, more animal
sex.
therapy, more great sex.
Great sex. So this is how the
you
overcome
guys
any-
you guys are so fabulous. It was so wonderful getting
Tremendous.
to know you
Yes.
better. And I'll be calling on you again because
Okay, we're
you're
here.
you.
We're
And
so
we
alive
related.
here.
There you go. And thank you for all of your great work. You're helping so many people. I know with your
Absolutely.
stories on For Grace, that will help so many people. I just feel so much love coming from you guys, and I appreciate you and send you so much love.
All four of us are very lucky.
And
I
we
think so.
are very, very lucky, and I
think so.
love that the gratitude. I really, on that note,
really,
we'll
You know,
we'll end on the note of
enjoy that beautiful
gratitude.
color
Yeah,
change. That color change going on in
In
New England
Rhode-
right
in
now.
Rhode
Yeah.
Island.
it's
Wow.
beautiful this year because we went through such a drought, and the quantity
Yeah.
of bloom makes a difference on the colors of the leaves. So we're
But we-
already seeing some trees losing their leaves, and the colors are not as brilliant as we've had some years.
Yeah.
We heard that.
You were just
heard
there,
that
yeah,
many
I
times up,
remember,
when we were in Cooperstown and Vermont, and folks had the same.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that the
response.
leaves come back and you guys enjoy them within
Yes.
your romantic ways. Thank you so much, guys.
Pleasure.
And thank you everybody else so much for joining us here on our second our second Partners in Pain panel.
Yeah.
And we learned so much
We
today
did.
from this really it was a hard, I know it was a hard topic, but look at how well Ellen and Stu Lenox Smith, just to hyphenate the names,
Yes.
we don't want to lose Lenox in that. We learned so much from them, and in the comment section below, tell us about your caregiving and your care recipient experiences. What did you relate with? What didn't you relate with? What did you get some tips that are going to change what you do, your dance? And what tips can you share with us? Because this is what we're all about, helping each other, learning from one another. We all have so much knowledge because we've been doing this for so long. So we're the experts. So we look forward to your comments. And we are running late because we couldn't not. When you get guests like that, you like this, you can't. So I'm
John Garrett, and you are
Cynthia Toussaint, and together we are Women in Pain Nation. Stay well, everybody. We're signing off for now and sending so much love. Everybody be romantic and take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.